So everyone, this is the first Forte into Avalon Lord's Dawn Rises, as requested by you guys. Now what this is, it is a multiplayer only online strategy game. You have two basic modes, battle and conflict. Battle mode is pick your army, go at it, destroy the other army, and hopefully annihilate their castle. Conflict mode is actually have a standard base building type of deal. That's it. You have these to choose from, practices against CPUs, and then you have the Empire mode, in which the Empire faction you selected, which you had to select at the start of the game without ever having played the game, goes back and forth to create what can be considered different squares. Now, I have no idea who the red guys are. I think I'm the blue. This blue over here. But the game doesn't have hardly anybody playing it right now, and there's a good reason for that. And we're going to see it. So I'm going to start a conflict mode against a single CPU. Because it's the only way to, for sure, get the recording that I would like to get. Normal difficulty is fine. Free-for-all mode. You can set a duration, i.e. when it's supposed to end. I'm going to set this to end in 30 minutes. Actually, the minimum time is 45 minutes. So, 45 minutes or whenever stuff happens. 700, treasures on. And start. Now, playing this game, I get a lot of different influences that come through. One is, well, Stronghold. The other one is Empire Earth. But for the most part, I find that it is not the most compelling of gameplay to watch and or play. You basically only need one resource gathering place for each type of resource. There are 3 resources you need mines for. Go figure. And can we get a military barracks up? Nope. That's fine. Group one more. Now the computer is immediately going to send someone to attack me. Like, the computer strategy is apparently just to spam units at you until you die, 1 unit at a time. Once I set them to go, they're going. Now, there is a musical score here, and it's this big, epic musical score. Sounds a lot like Lord of the Rings. This is not that epic of a game. Trust me. How much is it to build a house? 150 wood. Houses control the population cap. Early on, you want wood and you want, well, all of this gold, basically. Wood and gold are your 2 early on things. Later, it becomes iron and stone. This is what we're doing right now. We're gathering resources in order to build houses so we can increase the population cap. Because you start with a population cap of 5 more than what you started with. It is not... I don't think it's particularly riveting. The game is very slow-paced. And and there's a lot of time when you click to do something, it takes a second for the units to respond. Everything has to be connected through to a server at any time, unless you have it set up for a private-only match. Even on these CPU battles, players can randomly drop in and drop out. Which means, to me, there is a significant amount of what I would call trolling going on. Because I played this game for 3 hours. And I had a player just keep dropping in to a different CPU, buffing that CPU up, and then leaving. And basically spamming through all of my computer opponents to make them fight me better. I want you to grab the treasure. Okay, apparently you can't. Who can? Peasants. Great, I have some peasants around to do this. Give me another peasant. Go mine gold.
Need some extra help?
And there's the CPU, as expected, sending his scout straight in to attack me. Like, he hasn't even built a military building yet. He's sending someone in to attack me already.
Your forces are under attack.
And see, I don't even understand. There's no tutorial for this. Like, I don't understand how to interact with half the stuff here. Because there simply is not a tutorial. Military building, please. Archery range. Get it up. You. Military building, please. Barracks. Get it up. And you can see how much space these take up. I mean, it gets, your base size is going to get ridiculous. And how little damage your units actually do to each other. I haven't lost anybody. Not to mention the fact that I'm not even... While the game is beautiful, like when I zoom in here, the details on these units are like Total War almost. Like older Total War, not like most recent the Warhammer Total War that's coming out, but like older Total War detail level on the units, which is nice. Same thing for the buildings. They're nice and detailed. They look nice and fresh. There's a little bit of polygon texturization going on there, but it's not something that necessarily distracts from the visual. But I am constantly finding that I do, in fact, just am not having a good time. Or a particularly memorable one. A lot of this, I think, suffers from generic strategy game. But it goes a little bit beyond generic strategy game issues and starts falling into generic strategy game that also, ready for this one, is a grind. This is a long-term grinding type of game. You're going to be playing this for several hours. And as you can see, I'm scrambling to build more houses until I can upgrade them, which requires more food, so I can get more units out. Alright, now I'll send my scout down to... And basically, I can see on the map where all the iron, where all the deposits are, so he's in one of 4 places, and I know it. And knowing that has made this battle significantly easier. You can't rotate the buildings, they're all facing the same way all the time. Trying to rotate my camera. Like I said, sometimes the controls aren't exactly responsive. I mean, this is just a first look video. This is not a review. I want to emphasize that. This is my first impressions, and my first impressions are not highly positive on this one, guys. It is a snooze fest to me. I do have the music turned off because I'm reasonably sure that the way it sounds, it definitely sounds like somebody else owns that music, and I don't want to be in trouble. Alright, we can upgrade this, and therefore we can expand our capabilities. We're going to build another house. Because we can. And we're going to order more swordsmen. And look, we have found something of his. I think. I see green on the map, but alright, we found him. We found him. He's south of us. Okay. So I'm going to send these 4 down here to hopefully wreak havoc, because the scout is going to continue. That's another thing. The attack move doesn't exactly work yet. See, they just move through them. Start marching. And those units are going to start marching. Now, the CPUs are not exactly intelligent. I'm just going to say it. They are not the sharpest knives in the drawer. And that does create a bit of a issue. I need more stone for a university. Alright, go mine stone. Order 4 of those guys. Research cargo packs. And give me more swordsmen. As you guys can see, he's already built up a significant amount of swordsmen, and The marching noises are there. The sound effects are starting to
Your
come
forces
together.
are under attack.
Really? Oh, right. It's the scout. That's fine.
You know I get paid by the hour, right?
You don't get paid. I don't pay you. Alright, I need you to mine stone. I need you to mine iron. I need you to go get gold. I need you to go open another treasure box to see what's in it. And actually, I need you, who's working the food right now. Go ahead and turn your food. And then, oh, we need 2,000, we need a lot more stone to build the university. But in the meantime, we can get the blacksmith set up and start upgrading our units. Units are not very intelligent. And on top of that, archer unit, I mean, it has this formation style like Total War. But when you engage archers in melee,
Your forces are under attack.
they don't go to melee mode and have a melee mode to them. They just keep shooting you with arrows.
Why aren't we going anywhere?
You will be. Alright, let's upgrade the houses to get a higher population cap so I can produce a boatload more units. And this is kind of the game.
Your forces are under attack.
Should be able to build the university now. Nope. I need a lot more stone. So go. Is this stone? This is stone, right? Yeah, that's stone. You go mine stone.
Your forces are under attack.
Some extra help?
Units will get shot at and engaged and not counterattack. The attack move doesn't cause units to move and attack on their way. And on top of this, I think there's only like 1 or 2 maps because this is the 3rd time I've played on the same map. Which irritates me a little bit that there's so little variety in the map choices. If you can't already tell, I am not very impressed with this game. I tried to give it a leniency. I tried
Your
to say,
forces are under
let's
attack.
see, a wait and see type of attitude, and I can't. Alright, let's spam out a bunch of swordsmen. And let's spam out a bunch of archers. Because we can.
By your command.
Units are slow. The game pacing
Your
is
forces are
incredibly
under attack.
slow. We're 12 minutes in. And we're still doing like the initial skirmishes. I mean, this is like old school RTS, but old school RTS in a not necessarily good way. As you guys can clearly see, this unit is taking forever to get down here. And these guys are about done, actually. I've already lost a unit of swordsmen.
Your forces are under attack.
I'm aware, I'm producing them as fast as I can. Let's upgrade these 2 facilities so I can produce the next tier of units. Iron swords, please.
By your command.
Go ahead and march down here. You guys... And see, the units stop randomly. Like, if you're not looking at them, they're just stopped. Don't believe
Your
for 2
forces
seconds. Also,
are
the
under
fog of
attack.
war causes buildings to disappear. And there's no way to turn... And if you turn the fog of war off, then you can just see all of the enemy movement. It's not where I can see where a building was. Also, as you can see, the archers don't engage in melee. They keep shooting arrows when they're being meleeed. I mean, I get it's early access, but that just seems silly. That seems like a basic feature.
Your forces are under attack.
What is going on? Are you further? You're further south. That's what's going on. We're pushing you slowly further and further south. But it's sending wave after wave of guys in. And that is, I think, where the game suffers the most. Is
Your
this
forces
distinct
are under
utter lack of personality. And utter lack of differentiating itself in a significant way from previous strategy games. It just doesn't do it. And now I'm going to upgrade all these houses as much as I possibly can. And we're going to order more peasants, because we always need more peasants. So full queue of those. Also, the queues only go up to 4, which kind of shit. I'm going to say. That's
Your forces
sucky.
are under attack.
Need 9 population. Alright, I need you. Go get wood. And resource management is just really passive. I mean, for a base building game where the emphasis is usually on building resources, resources management is just really passive. It's just something I'm kind of doing in the background. Not something I'm focused on micromanaging or rearranging or making sure it works. Once you have, you know, resources coming in a steady rate,
Your forces are
really
under attack.
care. Except you. You go to the iron mine. Improved? Nope. And all this does is just build trade carts to go between places. Get up in the tower.
Your forces are under attack.
Build another house. And see, we have a huge population capability right now. And my guys aren't reacting to being shot. Like, that's just a thing. They don't react to being shot. You're getting shot. Don't care. Really? Really, you don't? Because you might want to... let's get plate mail, make our units more durable. Let's get...
Your forces
agriculture.
are under attack.
I'm aware. I ordered the attack, for crying out loud. And see, the whole unit, I don't think that, you know, I don't think that whether it shows 50 guys there or 1 guy there, it matters. I think that it just literally, they're there as placeholders. And what's in fact happening is this is just 1 guy. So it looks visually stunning and appealing, but I think it's really just 1 guy. And therefore the unit does the same amount of damage regardless of how many men are left in the unit. I am finding this to be a constant theme with this game, is that it's just a long, slow, shuffling grind towards whoever's going to get more units out quicker is the winner. There's no special weapons, there's no special abilities, there's nothing... I keep saying this. There's nothing here that would want to make me play this for hours on end. I actually kind of want the match to end now so I can actually just stop the recording.
20 minutes later.
Time. Blast through them. Take out the castle. I don't care about the archers. We have a unit of swordsmen going over there to do that.
Your forces are under attack.
We take out the castle, we win. It's that simple. So just keep bombarding it with everything we have. Matter of fact, Smithy, increase our arrows. Make them better. Make our arrows great again. Right? I told you guys to attack the castle. Why is the ranged unit still marching in?
Your forces are under attack.
Your orders are to go attack the castle. You're not gonna make it. I'm just sending you anyway, just for shits and giggles.
Your forces are under attack.
Okay, that was an interesting voice to have. Thank you for the odd voiceover. Hope you guys can hear all of this. Oh yeah, the sound is barely audible, by the way. Just so you know, it's barely audible for me. I've got my volume turned all the way up just to be able to hear most of it. And I think that might be a slight issue.
Your forces are under attack.
You can also see how long it takes to kill one freaking unit. So as you can imagine, once a rush like this gets to the castle, it's just dead. Like, it's gonna take him too long to kill all of my guys who are shooting the castle right now. And the castle dies, and that's it. Game. Let's go take a look at the Steam page. I don't care about achievements. I really don't. Let's go take a look at the Steam page now that I've had to record 40 some odd minutes of one of the most boring strategy fights I've ever done. Because there's no micromanagement. There's very little macromanagement. The resource management is pretty much automated so long as you make sure you have enough people doing it. This feels like a click fest instead of a strategic style of engagement. And on top of that, it's slow. The entire game setup is very, very slow. It takes... Sure. You have an honor system where you can spend honor to increase your traits, which means that veteran players in a multiplayer game that only has multiplayer have an advantage over everyone else. What abilities? I had like no abilities to ever use. I'm not honorable yet. Oh, I only have one honor. Okay, fine. And now, by the way, that's the quit button. Escape doesn't work. Escape doesn't bring up a menu or anything. You have to actually find, and you have to find it. Like, I had to hunt for this to quit the game. My first impression is terrible, devs. Terrible. Let's go take a look at the Steam page. See what's there. Alright, so we're on the Steam page. Like I said, the game is slow. It is not interesting to watch. You only have walls and archery towers as defenses. You can even... Look at it. On this page, you have trebuchets mounted in your archery tower. That makes... They can also demount from the tower. All the units are generic. There is no... When a feature is collect wood, there's an issue. When you have to advertise the versatile camera, there's an issue. Dynamic atmosphere, yes, the clouds move. Yes, the ocean rolls. Yes, the wind hits the trees. It doesn't affect anything! It's just pretty. Lay siege. What laying siege part? Who took the time to build this? Why would you even bother when you can just bum rush over and over again, even against the most defensively minded player, and beat them senseless? Choose from 13 different units. Different types. Quote, types. No, it's 13 units. Different types of units would be like, you have infantry, now you have spearmen, now you have archers, now you have siege weapons, now you have wizards, now you have... You see what I'm saying? They would actually function significantly different from each other. I have already played this for a grand total of 6 hours. It says 2 right there, and that's because that's my last play session from yesterday. I've been in session with this for 4 more hours, because that's how long the battles take. If you're going to play this, you're going to be sitting at your computer, doing what I was just doing, for almost 6 hours for one battle, in which people can leave and come back repeatedly. I had somebody just coming in and joining up as the different enemy AI computers and trolling me by suddenly buffing out that computer and then leave. He was basically going between the 3 computers in order to keep buffing them out and just beat me down. Strategic gameplay. Simply having the most troops guarantees a win. Like, just flat out. This is back to, like, StarCraft 1 micromanager versus macromanager argument. Pure and simple, most troops wins. Large, epic scale of battle. Watch hundreds, perhaps thousands of soldiers. No. No! The individual units do the same amount of damage regardless if there's 1 guy left in the squad or if there's the 35. Literally, you have... If I produce a unit of swordsmen, it's actually just 1 swordsman. They're pretty to look at, but it's not very pretty. It's not very fun to watch. And the combat animations are very generic. Person swings, other person takes damage. Person swings back. It's like they don't even realize they have shields or the ability to block or parry. There's no real characterization to their animations. At least not right now. I get this is early access, but my first impressions are very, very, very bad. Construct your cities in an open sandbox fashion. True, but your buildings are huge! Like, massive! On the screen, and I can't zoom out far enough to actually see what's shooting me. In order for me to see where longbowmen are often shooting you, you have to click on your unit here and then trace the arrows back. And it's about 3 frames worth of screens to see where you're being shot at from. Which means if you don't actually have line of sight to the unit and you're being shot at, which is complete silliness, by the way, the computer has perpetual line of sight and you don't. The computer doesn't have fog of war either, and knows exactly where you are every time you load in. So he's not going around doing what players would do and have to stumble around to find you. But more importantly, he's just literally ordering attacks on buildings, ordering attacks on units from his base without having line of sight to where he's being told his attacks need to go to. But anyway, you're talking 3-4 screens away I'm being shot at. I can't even see what's shooting at me without having to move. Your ranges should reflect, and your unit movement should reflect that all of it can be on 1 screen, or I just need to scroll a little bit to see it. Not having to scroll several screens to find it. We had this problem in Age of Empires where people would complain about trebuchet players who would set up trebuchets, bombard an area, and then tear down the trebuchet and move it before anybody could get over to it. And rinse and repeat, and sure enough, as they did so, the entirety of someone's defenses would be worn down in a few minutes. This is a problem. Online only is another problem. Someone could have dropped in that match I was playing and actually taken over the computer at any time. And with 6-hour matches, you could start a match against one opponent and be facing someone entirely differently 5 or 6 times. Why would I esports this? Why? This was boring to play. I can't imagine what it's like for you guys to have watched it. This was boring to play. So those are my first impressions. Not great. Not good at all. On top of this, it only works on Windows 7. If you've upgraded to 10, this doesn't work. We tried it. It blows up. That's a problem. It's a big problem. There are better games out there for medieval combat, particularly with Total War Warhammer coming out. Now, I get that this is an indie dev, and this might be your first game, and I get you're doing the early access thing in order to get it out and get funding and everything, but you really need to look at your game, and then look at other strategy games that do similar things, and try to figure out, okay, what makes this fun? What makes this memorable? And what makes this engaging? Those other strategy games are fun, memorable, and engaging because they have stories to them. They have interactive characters. They have a single-player mode as well as a multiplayer mode. They have the ability to truly interact with each other. You're trying to create a perpetual, massively multiplayer real-time strategy game. Good luck, is what I'm going to tell you. Because I'm all for it, but I'm not for how boring this experience was. It's slow, it's repetitive, it doesn't have anything that's game-changing. Macro management, just spam units and rush works every time. I have played 4 battles, and so far that has worked every time. It's just macro produce units as quick as I can and throw them at the enemy until he dies. I mean, I don't have anything else to say at this point. Good luck to you, Dev. Thanks for letting me try it out. I'm sorry that my first forte of this, my first impressions are rather negative. There you have it. So, if you guys enjoyed this, I wouldn't blame you if you didn't. Hit the like button. If you didn't, hit the dislike button. If you'd like to see more stuff by Fiaura, you can subscribe. You guys know how to do that. It's a big red button. I'm just glad that this one is over. I'm just going to be directly honest. If you want to see the previous first Forte video, it's right there. And if you'd like to support the channel, you go through Patreon, or you can check out the ad at the end of the video. In the meantime, from my house to yours, I'll see you all in the next video, and I will see you at 3 a.m. for Total War Warhammer. See you later, guys. He has stuns in it now, which is what the symbol above those two guys' heads are. And there's more than just attack and light. There's more than just regular attacks. You have light attacks, you have heavy attacks, you have combo attacks, which is why I'm performing different moves every time I engage these guys, as I'm alternating the heavy and light attack. That was a different move. The entire leveling system has been revamped, and the game is generally better for it. There's also a counter for the enemy heavy attacks now. That you've stunned with my shotgun gauntlets. Yes, I said shotgun gauntlets. I said somebody